Good morning. The wheels do indeed keep turning. Sorry, we're late this morning. This is Babz Rawls Ivy. This is Lovebabz, Lovetalk. The weather is rainy, because what would New Haven be without rain every other day? But the bright spot in all of this is Tagan Engel is here.
Good morning.
From the Table Underground.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh my God, you haven't been here in a minute.
It's been a long time.
How are you?
I'm good. You've been getting my husband instead of me.
I love him. He's got to come back on. He might come tomorrow, but I'm not sure. So we can continue the conversation that people have been loving with us.
Yeah.
But I want to talk to you about the Table Underground.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Wow. So I have about 54 shows under my belt now, about a little over 2 years. Pretty exciting. So the Table Underground, I record stories about food. The tagline is food, radical love, and creative social justice. So it's like, I got to get it all in there, not just the food part.
It's like a
gumbo. Yeah, exactly.
Taking this making social justice gumbo.
Yeah, with a lot of food thrown in.
With a lot of food thrown in.
No, I mean, really, it's like inspiring stories, things that inspire me and stories that I don't often see out on the radio, maybe a little bit on WNHH, but not really out in the media very much. And so the idea is kind of getting stories out that either from people that we don't hear enough about, or also topics and issues we don't hear enough about, and things that inspire, things that are interesting, and just wanting to get people's voices out on the radio.
Exactly. That's a wonderful thing. And you've had a lot of interesting guests.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What's your favorite guest? Can you say?
I can't answer that question.
I know, it's like saying, do you have a favorite child?
Or even a favorite food.
Well,
I
what's
can't
the
even
most
answer that question.
illuminating thing?
Yeah, it's hard. People ask me that. And honestly, I love every story for different reasons. So recently I did a story on forest honey with a woman who's here in New Haven. She's actually at Yale. And I was mentoring her through a food entrepreneurship program. And she had lived in Ethiopia for 3 years and wanted to start supporting the forest economy there because it's good for the environment and it also helps people make money off of the existing forest. And so she was helping beekeepers there bottle their honey, and then it's like single origin honey. So the way we think about like really good chocolate, really good coffee, wines, the same concept but for honey. And so she talked a lot about what her experience was living in Ethiopia and trying to support these farmers. And then the other piece on this is, as a Chinese woman and as a woman entrepreneur, she talked a lot about kind of what some of the obstacles are that she notices being a woman entrepreneur, and how she I noticed when she was pitching that she would kind of talk about her process, talk about what wasn't done yet. And I said to her, I was like, do you think that some young white man with a good idea was going to stand up in front of his funders and tell him all the things he hadn't done yet? No, he's going to say, here's my experience. Here's why you should invest in me. Here's why this is a good product. And I said, you have more experience and you're more ready to do this than most people who are starting a business, but you're going up and you're apologizing for yourself and you're not, kind of putting your confidence and your best foot forward. And so we talked about how sexism affects her way of being an entrepreneur and how people perceive her. And so it's kind of all those pieces, right? There's the food part of this honey, there's the environmental part, there's talking about her identity, talking about kind of global economics, and then this personal part about how sexism affects her in her work. So that's just an example of all the different pieces that might come into a show.
Wow. That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
Yeah.
And my other favorite show, see, I can say I have favorite shows.
Okay.
One of the favorite shows I have is with me and Marshall and and Jason.
Yes.
So we talked about all the food finds.
Yeah.
And then my other favorite was when you ran around and found all the ice cream shops, all the places to eat.
Yes, that was so fun. So that was a Food Squad show, and I agree with you. I totally love that, and I'm recording another one on Friday with some other folks, and I want to do more of them. So I would love to have you
Oh, I'd love
come
to.
back
You know,
on.
anytime I can talk about food, God
Yeah.
knows.
That was fun because then it's like each person has their different approach, their different personality.
Yeah,
I love
and
it.
I learned a few things. You know, the Jason taught me about how to use good bread,
Yeah.
melt some chocolate, some olive oil, and melt some chocolate, and then a little more salt,
Yeah.
dressing salt, and that is dessert. And do you know I have been doing that?
Really?
I have done that so many times
Oh my
over so
goodness.
many places. I was like, this is the easiest, best.
I know. It was amazing.
Everybody likes chocolate, and
Totally.
everybody likes bread.
And it was so fun because we set up the toaster in the studio, in our tiny little studio right here, and we were like melting it right. So I
Oh
love
my
that.
God, it was so good. I
Yeah.
tell you what else I like. I love that you go to all the little mom and pop shops
Yeah.
that I had no idea existed.
Like
And
which
you were
ones?
all up in Fairhaven, all up in the places where
Yeah.
you know they're serving uniquely and deliberately Latino food.
Yeah.
Or I say Latino like to encompass all the different
like 500 countries and
Yes.
peoples and
Yes.
cultures. Yeah.
But you went to a lot of different places. I didn't even know served food. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I have to get over there. I have to do that. I have to do that.
Yeah.
And it was really good to sort of give them some shine.
Yeah, I agree. First of all, like my whole life is about food adventuring. So, you know, I'm the kind of person, I'm walking down the street and I see a little alleyway and I'm like, what's down that alley? Or a door that looks maybe like there's food back there. Or like, you know, I'm like, oh, somebody's making tamales. They're like walking down the street with a little cooler. So my heart just starts beating and I'm like, what's going on? Where is there good food? So honestly, like that's what drives literally every minute of my day is like, is there some fun food thing around? And what I realized in my life is that desire, as well as my love of people and growing up in like New Haven as a super diverse place, that experience allows me to cross into all different neighborhoods, meet all different kinds of people, and understand like different angles on people's lives. And that's what I want to encourage other people to do.
Yes.
So if like you might think, oh, that neighborhood is dangerous, or oh, there's lots of Black people over there, or like Latino people over there, if the thing that's gonna get you in that neighborhood is some like mango nada ice cream or tamales or the best barbecue on the East Coast or whatever, then good. You know, if the food part is what makes you cross that street and get in that neighborhood and then interact with people and see that like, oh, this person is human. This is like there's life and wisdom and vibrancy in this community.
It wins
I'll take
me.
it.
It wins me. It wins me every time because I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, I love that. I love the intersection between social justice and food
Yeah.
because I just believe fellowship, eating, and hospitality is sacred.
Yeah.
And if you can sit down and break bread with people and eat their food and have them eat your food, like that is the beginning of peace.
Yeah.
I think, you know. So now what
and
do
you live that up. You embody it, which
Oh,
is what
I
I
do.
love. I love that about you.
I'm always eating somewhere. This is why I can't lose any weight taking. Because for all the working out that I do at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the evening, I'm somewhere eating and drinking.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. Maybe my weight is stabilized so that I don't get fatter. Because I'm telling you, this
hard.
is a good town to eat in.
It is.
It really.
It
And I'm
is.
gonna go and walk with Lee Cruz around over in Fairhaven because he's always taking people on tours. And I was like, I didn't know that restaurant was there. He's like, oh, come take the tour.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah,
I'll do that.
he knows the inside scoop too, like which dishes are best at which restaurants and stuff. So.
I think that is key when you live in a community as
Yeah.
diverse as New Haven. And if you want to venture out of, the usual suspects, you want to go and eat some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And New Haven's got quite a few new restaurants now.
Yeah.
Where have you been anywhere lately?
Where have I been?
Have you been to Milkcraft?
Yes, I have been to Milkcraft, and I had been to the one that was it's on my ice cream trail. So if people want to see the 28 ice cream spots, they're up on my, you can look at thetableunderground.com and see this very long ice cream trail of all these ice cream spots. So when I wrote that, there was not a Milkcraft in New Haven, but there was one in Trumbull. So I had been out there before.
Okay.
So that's kind of the farthest south point. There's a few outside New Haven spots, and then most of them are in New Haven. Yeah, it's fun. I think it's a fun thing. It's not my favorite ice cream, but I like their.
That's what everybody says.
I like their bubble waffles.
Everybody
which
says
is nice.
that. I've not heard anybody that said that, and everyone's like, I like it, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
You know. So
the one thing I like there, they have a strawberry ice cream with a balsamic glaze, and I love that like sweet sour thing.
And is it good?
I like it. I don't
Okay.
know if it's for everybody, but I go in that's the one thing that I've gotten there. And so, well, I've tried other ones, but recently since they opened in New Haven, so I take the spoon and I indent the top of it and I'm like squirt a whole bunch of that balsamic like in a pool on the top so that I have more of the sour. So it's good. It's a fun experience. And I think, I think one thing, places start to feel like if there's competition that it takes away from their business, but I also think that it's good when we have a lot of different kinds of places and it becomes a destination.
Because
like
they're
let's
all full.
rotate and go all to all these different ice cream spots.
I mean, because they're around the corner from Froyo. Froyo has a ton of people in there.
Yep.
Milkcraft has a ton of people. You go around the corner from Froyo to
the Arethusa, and to Ashley's.
There's a million people there, and Ashley is is a New Haven staple. I mean, it's been here.
That's my favorite.
I think it's been here 30, 40 years now. Something like that, right?
Yeah. Do you know they started having coconut-based ice cream over there? Because I know you can't have dairy.
Where?
At Ashley's.
Really?
Yep. They have
I
coconut-based.
never go in there because cuz.
And you're reminding me. So one of the places that opened this past year is next door. Have you been over there yet?
No.
Okay.
No, don't tell me they have vegan pizza.
I don't know if they have vegan pizza, but they might. But they have a vegan ice cream that is off the hook. So my show tomorrow is about women in the kitchen, and it'll be airing Friday the 14th at 1. And then people can check it by podcast or whatever. So Robin Bodak and Dignity Male, who are the cooks, two of the cooks, so the head chef and one of the cooks over at Next Door. So Next Door is over on East Street.
Yes, and it's getting good reviews. People
food,
like it.
The food is some of the best food in the city, and it's almost all women in the kitchen.
I gotta go in
So they
there.
got a pizza kitchen, which is like wood-fired pizza oven, which is delicious, great New Haven pizza. That came off the Big Green Truck Pizza. Do you know that truck?
Yes.
So this restaurant, the Big Green Truck, I used to work there like 13 years ago. Their spot where they park their, I think, 6 trucks and where they prep their pizza dough, and they also have a catering business they've had forever. Doug Coffin is the owner. That's on East Street. So this was Humphreys was the spot next door to their kitchen, and that's why it was called Next Door. So when Humphreys closed down, then they moved in, or the other restaurant was in there.
There's like
after.
A bunch of places. We just know it as Humphreys.
Humphreys, right? So, so they closed down, and Doug and his crew moved next door, and so Robin Bodak was the head of his catering business for the past decade, and so she took over as the head kitchen chef, and she ended up. Not on purpose, but all these women came to work in the kitchen. A lot of them are moms. And so they are doing amazing food, like really, really top-notch food. But it's in a very casual setting. It's like they have 3 different rooms. So there's kind of a bar room, and then the bar pizza room, and then more of a dining room. So there's like 3 spaces. And they have the pizza menu, and then also this sort of, she calls it elevated bar food, but I will tell you this food rivals like by far the best food in the city. But it's not pretentious. It's like, kind of farm to table, but also they'll have like loaded fries and, other kind of bar things.
That's how I feel about Beer Collective. Have you had?
I have not been over there.
They have a very high end menu too. It's very affordable.
Yeah.
But it's not like your usual, nacho kind of vibe thing. They have a full on badass menu. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's fun because I think also there's like more variety, and it's not such a sit down environment. Like I gotta order a main course, or something. So anyway, they'll be on tomorrow talking about their food, talking about being women, what's different with the women in the kitchen. She brought in this non-dairy, it's like coconut-based ice cream, except I didn't really taste the coconut that much, which I like because sometimes it can be overpowering. It was an ash salted caramel ice cream. So it was black, which was like crazy.
Wow.
And had that wonderful salty caramel taste.
Really?
And then it had these little chocolate covered haystack pieces. I don't know exactly what was in there, like little crunchy. I thought of you right away. I was like, Babz is going to love this.
Oh, I'm going to make a beeline. I'm going to run right over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to try to make my way over there.
Yeah. Go knock on the door. Tell her I sent you. It's really good food.
Have you been over to Monhari's since they've opened their bar?
I saw you on the first night.
Yes.
We went on the first night.
I haven't been back there though.
Me neither. We gotta
I
go.
love it. They tricked that space out.
They
nice.
did. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
That's a good bar space.
It is.
It needs another bar in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere else to go. Except New West. And sometimes you want an elevated experience.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want a dive bar, and sometimes you want better.
Yeah. It's nice. She has a good menu. Anna has gets creative with food and things taste good and they're fresh. So it's very fun.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Great.
I used to go in there all the time for lunch. And you can't be in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just have to be able to meander a little bit
Yeah.
But the food is always worth it. When she first opened for dinner, remember when she used to be open for dinner?
Yeah.
And she'd come and make fresh guacamole at your table.
Oh, really?
Holy cow. I was like, what?
I know.
Like,
She's such a foodie. She just loves her food. That's what I love about, that's part of what I love about doing my show is getting people up there who love food, whether it's cooking or eating or growing it or whatever, and just getting them gushing about food because, first of all, is my ultimate joy to talk with them. And then I think people love it. Like, they love to hear about what motivates people, inspires people with their food. So
yes. And you know, Orchid Cafe over there is they've expanded their hours.
Yes.
And they're tricked out this cafe a little bit differently. And you know, they've got Raven over there.
They got Miss Raven there from Lovefed.
Yeah, from Lovefed. And so, and what I like about that is that those students are going to get a different kind of food cooking sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just going to be short order, quick. It's going to be it's going to be quick stuff, but it's going to be elevated, and it's going to be on par, I think, with all the other restaurants.
Yeah. No, it's good, and it's important. I think that's an important thing for Concat to have, because they're training mostly low-income students of color to become cooks and chefs, and they need to not just be exposed to what you do in a cafeteria or fried food. You need to understand all these different kinds of food and different ways of cooking, because the whole point of that program is to give people a leg up that they're not getting in our society. Yeah. So let's give them a real leg up.
And if they can go in some of these fancier kitchens, you know, that do the fancier stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's a plus when you can walk in and say, you know what, yes, I know how to do X, Y, and Z. I know this, I know that, I know. You know, I think that's a big deal, other than just dropping some fries in a fryer thing and calling it, you know, cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think New Haven has really shown up and embraced a diverse eating population.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just feel like eating and drinking and dining in this town is like a feast.
Yeah. Have you been over to? So I agree with you, and then I also. It's such a dynamic of different neighborhoods and kind of, you know, people have such a focus on downtown, but then trying to get people to go out into the neighborhoods to eat.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what you think about Fussy Coffee.
I like them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I do too. Their food is so good.
I took my daughter a few months back. I took Margot for like a breakfast.
Yeah.
That was one of the best. It just comes beautifully done.
Yeah, it does.
I was very impressed. And, you know, good coffee.
Yeah.
But now you could get a drink.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like,
I told them when they first opened, I sort of boycotted it when it first opened, because I was like, oh, this is gentrifying. Like, so, you know, I was like, oh. And I was, you know, it's just, you see Yale taking over Science Park. You see it creeping down Henry Street. And, you know, and it's just, it pains my heart just knowing the city. And then I went in with somebody asked me to have a meeting there one day, and like a while ago, and I went in, I was like, okay, I'll go check it out. And then I started to be a little more open-minded to it. I started to see like some people from, you know, a little more diversity of who was in there, not just Yale folks.
Well, Kay eats in there all the time,
yep,
and
Kay,
she's tight with them.
I know.
And the guy who owns the place, you know, they are community focused. They care about that community.
That's right.
So I mean, I get gentrification, but I also think that there has to be room for people coming in and sort of doing some stuff.
That's right.
And I know it's a fine line, believe me, because every moment and every piece of real estate that Yale buys that encroaches into a neighborhood, the neighborhood loses a neighborhood flavor.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when they have the sense to sort of say, we don't want to mess with the footprint, we just want to whatever.
We just want to add to it.
We want to add to it and then be inclusive.
That's right.
You know, not like that stupid little shop that somebody opened that only the students could go to.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
I was like, you know what?
Yeah. No, we're not even going there.
But yeah,
no, I agree
that
with
level
you. That
of foolishness that makes people always be like, see,
yeah. No, and what you said is exactly what I came to see once I spent some time in there. You know, now I know the people who work there. I started seeing like they were hosting things with like Robin Porter and with, you know, just hosting things with our local politicians from that neighborhood. And that they really did care about the community.
And they're nice.
And so they're really nice.
I mean,
and they
they're
do
just
good
nice people.
Really good food in there. And so, yeah, now I appreciate it.
Although I will say this, Tagan, it pains me that there's only one vegan restaurant in this town. And not even. I mean, Claire's is a vegan vegetarian restaurant.
Yeah.
But there's no boop, 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 vegan restaurant. Now,
Just
the Red
straight up
Lentil
vegan.
was here.
Mhm.
I love that. I think me and Paul Bass were the only people
Yeah.
that absolutely ate there like every other day because
Yeah.
we loved it.
It's true that there's vegan offerings at different restaurants, but then you
Yes.
only get like one or two things. And it's true. Somebody needs to open a spot.
I know. I don't know why people don't
Well,
find
is Caribbean
this.
Connection
Yes,
vegan?
they're vegan, but they're not
it's
open
very
on the weekends, and it's it's not like fancy, which
Right.
sometimes it's fine,
Yeah.
but sometimes you wanna go out to dinner and have like a date night, and you want to go to a vegan.
Right.
Where do you go?
All right. So putting a call out. Restaurateurs. We need
Anybody
a vegan
listening?
spot in New Haven.
But don't you think New Haven lends
I
it?
do.
Don't you think there's enough vegans here?
I do.
I don't.
Absolutely.
I think there's enough vegans here
Yep.
that'll.
No, absolutely. I think it would
as
do
long as they
really
don't
well.
price, but sometimes vegan food can be off the
Mm-hmm.
charts. Like, you want me to pay what for some avocado? You want me to buy a shiitake steak for how much? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So somebody has to come in with some vision.
Yeah.
I try
No,
to,
it's true.
I always broach that with Jason. He's like, Babz, you know where I'm at? I'm at the beer restaurant, right?
Yes.
I'm doing barbecue. I said, well, can you put some vegetables on the grill? Can you barbecue?
He does it just for you.
And he's like, get out of my restaurant.
No, you're right. I mean, I think New Haven, a restaurant like that would do really well here, and it can't be too pricey. But something that is
like have you been to
more
Seasoned
plated
Vegan
food.
in Harlem?
Is that the one on 125th?
No,
No.
it's like more in, I don't know where it is,
I
but
haven't been there. No.
that's a wonderful place. It's a
Mhm.
tight little soapbox kind
Yeah.
of place, but the food is to die for. They've
have
been
to
at
check
this for about a decade,
Okay.
but it's a wonderful space. And I was like, this could thrive in New Haven. They do
Yeah.
a brunch, they do the da 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 da. So I was like, yeah. I guess if I want one bad enough, maybe I need to go start one.
I know quite a few vegan chefs and folks from New Haven, so we should start recruiting.
But I never started. Hey, we can put it right there on Dixwell Avenue with all the
Yes.
new stuff that's coming.
That would
Like
be great.
around the corner from Next Haven and around the corner from Concord, because
Mhm.
everybody's, that whole corridor is getting developed.
Yeah.
So it might be just the right move for a little vegan.
I got
vegan
some
spot.
people I'll connect you to. I know some folks have been organizing and trying to open a spot that's kind of Black folk led, but I don't know if they have a chef yet. So yeah, let's talk. We'll recruit some folks.
I wish I was.
Yeah.
I wish I was still in the chef game, because now would be a good time to be a chef. I think it wasn't a good time when I was a kid. In the
Yeah.
'80s, when I came out of culinary school in the '80s, there was only so much you could do. There was no opportunities to do what these young people are doing in the last 20 years of culinary.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I started cooking in like 95, and I didn't go to culinary school. I just started getting jobs in bakeries and restaurants, actually in Harlem and then in Brooklyn. And it is a different world right now. And it's funny. One thing I noticed is that I had this feeling that I had to like work from the bottom up, and I wouldn't even call myself a chef until I had like attained kind of this level of working and worked somewhere a long time and kind of a certain level of skill. And now I watch like people get out of culinary school and they get like a job like 1 year and they call themselves a chef. But the thing is like people are also amazing cooks and amazing chefs, and they're getting kind of restaurant deals and accolades and stuff. And it's just like this different mentality than what was, I feel like, forced on me at the time that I was coming up, which is that people weren't having it. People were like, you can't call yourself that.
You got to do your time in this
You got to
kitchen.
do your time.
You got to peel some potatoes. You got to wash some pots.
That's right.
And then you got to like do all this. Then you have to work your way up the grill and the sous chef and the garde manger. You wasn't going to just walk into nobody's kitchen to be the chef after coming out of culinary school. So but
I also appreciate like there's this way that I see that also held me back in a certain way, and I'm watching some people who are super talented chefs and cooks who at like within the first few years of their cooking life are like, I'm just gonna do this, and they put themselves out and they're doing it and they're amazing.
Well, like
and
Stephen Ross.
Yes.
Have you been over
he's been cooking a long time.
Long time. But have you been over to Bomb
Not
Wings?
yet. I know. I got to get there. I went by it, but it was closed when I was over there.
Are you a wing girl?
I eat I eat meat, but I try to eat meat that is not like factory farm meat. And so I love wings, but the thing for me is that knowing what I know about the food industry, it prevents me from eating meat out a lot. Because I'll cook stuff at home sometimes, and
I'm feeling you.
But I'm gonna go over there and eat because I love Steven.
Well, he does rice
Steven.
bowls too. So, but you know what won me? He had collard greens in the rice bowl, like collard greens, bok choy,
Nice.
and I was like, this is the blackest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's awesome.
You're taking a little Asian concept and throwing some black on it, and it's a nice little spot. I mean, I've watched him come from culinary school into cast iron skillet, 2 different locations,
Yep.
and then over at Anchor, and now doing
Yep.
this thing. And I'm, so that means, he has a heart for this work.
He does. So I've cooked with him some, and we've done like some events together, and I love Steven, and he's super creative. He's good at putting a menu together and kind of cooking the same thing for the menu, but you're like, Steven, let's go, we've done an event like on a farm, and I was like, here's what they got, and we just started like, getting creative together. He's won like cooking contests at the City Seed Market against all kinds of different chefs. He's just super creative, and he loves food. He's awesome.
I think he's great. I love whenever he cooks. I just love it. And I like the cats over at Oma, although I haven't been over there yet.
Yeah.
But I was there at their pre-launch.
Yeah.
When they did this whole sit-down vegan meal at the farm, which was magical.
Yeah.
It was so romantic. Oh my God, it was romantic. It was magical, and it was well done.
Yeah.
That's a great space to host something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
It was at the Yale farm?
It was at the Yale farm.
Yeah, it's a beautiful space.
I love that space. In the middle of a city, you get this.
And we've done stuff there. Like, they're really, of all the things at Yale, the Yale Sustainable Food Program and the Yale Farm are the most inclusive of the city of New Haven. Like, they'll bring in like top named people, and they'll be like, do you want to do something in the community with them? Or here, we'll host a lunch with them.
Davita.
We had Davita there
Who
from
is
Food
now
Lab
my
Detroit.
friend.
Yes. She's amazing.
She's my friend because I met her here through you.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
And so she went to Paris, and I followed her all trip.
All the places.
And when she came back, I went to Paris right after she got there. So I was trying to I was like, Davita, I cannot eat where you eat because butter.
Right. I know. I can't believe you found vegan croissants. Yeah. So if people don't know, Davita Davison is the head of Food Lab Detroit, which is this amazing program in Detroit where they uplift and train food entrepreneurs. And it's a lot of women, a lot of people of color, and basically support people to start food businesses. And they're really kind of fighting against development and gentrification, and really trying to support people from the community starting businesses, but also buying buildings, and also doing anti-racism work between people, and kind of building bridges between what they call like the native Detroiters and then like the new kind of white folks, or just people who've recently come to Detroit, and kind of doing like the real heart work and the kind of education work that they need to do to kind of build those bridges so that people are supporting each other and not inadvertently
I follow her on
each other.
Instagram, and I love her. And she's funny, and she's all over the place.
And she tells it like it is.
And she eats all over the place.
Yes, she does.
And I love the way that she enjoys. There are people who will eat but won't enjoy.
Yeah.
She enjoys food.
She does.
And that's why I like following her on Instagram, because she does not shy away from social justice and enjoyment.
That's right.
Because so many people are so social justice. You think that they couldn't enjoy a damn thing on the planet. I was like, you know what? You can put your sword down at dinner. You can,
That's right. And at lunch and at breakfast and the snacks in between.
You can sit at the bar,
or
have
you
a
do
drink.
both at the same time. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I know.
You can relax.
Agree. Yeah. So that was fun. I ended up recording a show with her after that.
Oh,
when we
really?
did that event. Yeah. So we recorded a show at the Yale farm after that event.
And she's got a minister's voice and a minister's presence, because
she's from a minister's family.
She's from a minister family. So she comes to it naturally. And I said to her, I said, girl, are you preaching? What are you doing? The Church of Davita. So she's good.
That's right.
I tell you what, I like. I love talking to Arturo over at Shell and Bone.
Yeah.
Separate from the fact that I have a huge crush on him and his hair.
Yeah.
I enjoyed talking about his story of how he came. Like you and I, we worked our way through the culinary life. That's what he did. He was a kid and caught some breaks and and learned, and then finally went to culinary school. But talks about how he worked his way through.
Yeah,
and,
I loved when we did the food squad with him, and he talked about all the places that he takes. We did the summer food finds.
Yes,
and so he talked about all the places that he takes his daughters in the summer. And actually, there's a taco place that is in the Hill neighborhood that is over on it's on Kimberly Ave, like near where the Seatown is there.
Yeah,
it's like orange and kind of teal in front.
Yes.
So I have been meaning to go. I go by it all the time, and I keep being like, that's Franco's favorite spot. So the chef from there, I think, used to work with him or used to work somewhere fancy, and then was like, I gotta go open my taco place. But he said they had like the best I think the tacos El Pastor and like just really good tacos. So we should make
we
a
should
little
just go
trip over
just
there.
run over there and be like,
there's so much
hello.
good food right there.
I know.
In that little triangle. And there's like
Yes.
the bakery. I think it's a Dominican bakery that's
Yes.
right there. And
you know what? Tagan, Seatown is damn good over there too.
Seatown is the cleanest, most organized store that is never out of stock of anything. Those stores in New Haven are amazing.
I mean, you could go over there for lunch for like $5 or $6 and get a damn good meal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was like,
what?
And so much good food. Like
So
the produce
much.
is so good. And
I know.
You know, I love getting my frozen like passion fruit pulps.
You got me started. Oh, girl, that reminds me. I had to make a run to Seatown because when we came back from Jamaica, we because you told us all about the pulps and the and we went over there, girl. We've been buying those pulps and buying all that food. And
what are you doing with them?
I mix them in water and I do all kinds of stuff with them. I love it. I was
so
like,
great.
oh,
that's my favorite. If people want, because this, I know it's not hot today, but it's getting hot, right? So
someday.
That was another fun food show that we did, actually, that I did with you as well. The Thirst Quenchers.
Yes.
So that's up on the table underground as well. It's different drinks, but not having sugar in them. So if you're not, you want something different than just water. You know, put a little chunk of passion fruit pulp in there, some chia seeds, some sacred basil seeds.
It was
so good.
I have been doing that. Now you got me to remind me that I got to make a run. Because I love that. And it's, you know what? And it's the flavor without all the added sugar and the foolishness and the colors and that was
so
just
simple, right?
And it was you feel very satisfied.
Yeah. And the chia seeds I love because first of all,
they're good for you.
They're good for you. So I love them for the pleasure part. Like I love that kind of like gummy texture. I know some people that grosses them out, but they're like a little soft and slippery, but they're super good fiber. And if I'm like working or trying to stay hydrated and, I've been trying not to eat between my meals because I realize I actually really enjoy my meals better when I don't snack in between them.
Oh, okay.
Like I used to go after that idea like, oh, I need a little pick me up in between meals. I eat some nuts or something else. And I do not diet or like I am not strict with food. Like I love food. I love to eat, but I also am just trying to take care of my body. Like I'm getting older. I know I don't look it, but like I'm 45 now. I'm trying to like, I'm feeling the years sometimes. So
girl, welcome to 56. I know, that's why I'm in the gym every morning at 5 o'clock.
You're good.
I was like, girl, gotta do it.
But those chia seeds are great because they, they give your body a little something to keep you going between meals, and they're great fiber and they're just fun. They make your drink a little more fun than just drinking water.
I'm telling you, those little fiber pulp things are incredible. I was like, I love this. This is like, and it's just 100% whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's no additives. There's no color. It's like 100% passion fruit. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. It's so good.
And
so can I tell you, we're doing, tomorrow I'm going to be recording this other food squad.
Yes.
So I'm trying to get those going a little more. And so I definitely have to have you back. I think we need the food squad like on bigger radio too. Like one of the things I'm trying to do with my show is figure out how to get it picked up by a bigger network or get it funded or something. Cause like I think that there's not enough stories getting out there that are people of color, marginalized folks, or just stories that are outside the mainstream. You know, you can like promo restaurants and stuff, but there's like more to say than just that, right?
Yes.
And from different perspectives. So the food squad, I think, is a great way to do that because it's fun. And there's all, you got 3 or 4 different people at the table with different perspectives. So,
I think it's a great, listen, I've enjoyed doing it. So, and I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I've discovered places just listening to other people talk about, what they like and what they cook and what they make and where they shop. I mean, you got me running to Seatown.
It's good. I'm so happy. You're warming my heart. Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to record about strawberries because it's the beginning of strawberry season.
Oh, it is.
And so Rachel Sayet, who is a Mohegan food educator, and she...
now, strawberries are heavily, what are they? Poison. What do you call it to keep the bugs off?
Oh, the pesticides?
Yes. They're one of the dirtiest fruits.
If you're buying, depends on where you're buying them from.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get you to tell me.
So yes, I mean, this is a huge thing with strawberries. Like we're at a point in our world where we have the same fruit 365, right? Like we're getting strawberries from Mexico and California and places that are being grown by immigrant migrant workers who are people from Latin America who are coming up to work on farms and being seriously exploited. They're being poisoned by the pesticides. They're not being paid. They're sometimes being housed in horrible conditions and being really terribly exploited by companies. And so that is something that we need to pay attention to. And not, there's been a big boycott this past year on Driscoll's strawberry, which is like and a lot of brands that don't say Driscoll's are actually under the same company but might have a different label. And so yeah, that's something that like we need to be paying attention to. Where are we getting our food from, and who's growing it and how are they being treated? So that is a really serious thing. And so one of the things we're talking about on the show tomorrow is that, and also people who are growing stuff locally without exploiting labor, and also some of the history of strawberries. So Rachel's going to talk about within the Mohegan and other indigenous communities how they eat, traditionally people were eating very seasonally, right? So strawberries came in for a month, like the month of June, basically.
And that was it.
That was it. And so there would be this Thanksgiving, like in indigenous, in Native American communities and most indigenous communities, there was a sense of giving thanks for things when they came, because they came, they grew for a month. That was it. You appreciated it and you moved on to the next food, And so she's going to talk about Strawberry Moon, which is what they call it, the moon, the month.
Yes.
And kind of the giving thanks. She's going to tell us some traditional stories about strawberries and then make a strawberry drink that I think originated with the Iroquois people, but is also drunk by many other folks and is sweetened with maple syrup, which is also a local product that grows in the Northeast and is something that was originated with indigenous people here who were tapping maple trees and getting sap and creating maple syrup. So she's going to talk about that. And then I got two awesome folks from Bridgeport who are coming up. So Raquel Pablo Rivera, who is from A Pinch of Salt Catering. She is amazing, this woman. So I did another show with her about food entrepreneurs in Bridgeport. You would love her. I got to get the two of you on a show together.
Please.
She's, first of all, a fabulous chef. Like, she's a catering company. She does beautiful food. She gets stuff from the farmer's market. She mixes in some of her Latina heritage, but also just like farm to table, kind of delicious food. She trains she does a couple different things. She trains local chefs from Bridgeport to work with her. So she does like a kind of how Concat does, a culinary training program. It's primarily Black and Latinx people. And she does a culinary training and then she hires them into her company. And then she also does mentorship for other food entrepreneurs. So she has a stall at the farmer's market in Bridgeport. And she actually has other people. She coaches them to come make food and sell it at her stall.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
man, she is amazing.
She's super amazing. So yeah, much more to say about that. But she's going to share some recipes with us and just talk about the work that she does making the farmers markets in Bridgeport really kind of look more like the communities of color that they're selling in and really help people get in to be vendors at those markets. Wow. And then we've got Farron Harvey, who is just a super dope urban farmer, educator, recent baker, queer Black woman from Bridgeport who lives in Bridgeport, and she's going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. I don't know. She told me all kinds of ideas, so we'll see. I think one of the main things she wants to share is about kind of the origins of a lot of food that comes from Black folks in America that we don't attribute to Black people in America. And so I think she's going to speak to some of that.
Yeah. That, with the passing of Sister Leah Chase and and if you go to New Orleans, Dookie Chase is where you stop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you go and get your coffee and your beignets and but not just that, everything. Just gumbo, whatever you like. And so she is someone who will be greatly missed on the culinary field, not just in New Orleans, definitely New Orleans, but from
the whole country,
and I dare say around the world. So
absolutely.
I mean, that woman elevated, New Orleans cooking to a whole other level.
Yeah.
So
it was amazing to see the celebrations of her life. In the street
and the influence of people. Style. Yes, that second line was serious. So I enjoyed you, Tagan.
I enjoy you all the time, Babz.
Appreciate you coming in.
Oh, anytime.
And talking about Table Underground.
Yeah, so definitely. People can check it at thetableunderground.com. I'm on WNHH every other Friday, and you can find it on any podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will see you soon. Somewhere out here in these streets this summer, eating and drinking.
Let's go eat.
Yes. Thank you, Harry. I'm going to play us out.
Ooh.
Stop.